Hi everyone, this is Terry from Tidbits and Tinkerings, and today in this video I am going to be showing you how to assemble the Halloween shaker invitation that I designed in Cricut Design Space. Now I did design this as an invitation card because I know a lot of people do still have Halloween parties, and this would be just a fun way to send out your invitations. Um, what you see here on my table are all of the supplies that I used for this project, and all of the pieces here are already cut out. Um, let's see. I did do just a little bit of prep work so the video wouldn't be as long. I used my blending chalks here. These, I believe, are from Inkadinkado. And I just added a little bit of blending around the edge of the card base and also on the inside panel. And I've went ahead and glued my panel to the inside of the card as well as scored it. And I used some glossy accents and added that to the little spider and the bats that will be embellishments for the card. It just gives it a little bit of dimension and some shine. And I also cut out a little tiny piece of red cardstock and glued to the back of this little spider that will go on the front because my husband saw it and said it looked like a tick. So I decided, it did say spider in Design Space, so I just went ahead and added that little red dot, so kind of looks like a black widow spider now. And let's see, what else did I do in preparation? I do believe that is it. I'll be using some foam squares, and these are from scrapbook adhesives. And the only thing I did was just put one on the back of this little spider here that will be on the front of the card. And you will need some bling for the inside of your shaker. This I picked up from Michael's, and I'm going to be using some of the orange and silver stars out of this. And then in this one here, this was also from Michael's. I'm just going to be using some of these little black sequins here. And of course my glue, I use art glitter glue. And as far as the supplies for the actual invitation, I just use black cardstock, purple cardstock, some black craft foam that's going to create the little window, the dimension, so we can put our shaker stuff in there. A piece of clear acetate. And if you don't have acetate, a trick I learned when I first started doing shaker cards, if you have a laminator, take one of your laminating sheets and just run it through your laminator with nothing in it. Perfect acetate. Okay, and then this is just white cardstock, and I did a print and cut on this. And let's see, I forgot the envelope. This project does include an envelope, and I've already went ahead and folded it. And this is also print and cut. I will show you how to do this in Design Space if you want to. Now in the file, let me go ahead and switch over to the file real quick. All right, okay, here's the file. So I have labeled this what you're going to use for your layers. The orange layer here is this, and this is what I used print and cut for. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. You'll just select the layer that you want to change, and then go up here to fill, change it to print, and then select your little color selector here, and under print type, choose pattern. And I filtered this down to orange since I figured there'd probably be more Halloween patterns there. and just scroll through and select the pattern that you like. For this one, the little square that's going to be behind the window, I picked this one here. And then once you click on that, you'll notice that it changes your image back here. And if you click Edit Pattern, which has kind of put this right in the way, but you can change the sizing, horizontal, vertical positioning, rotate, and flip it. So that's pretty much that. And then for the liner of the envelope, that is this piece here. And I also just did a print and cut on that. So you would just change your fill to print and then go through those steps again. Now, before you cut this, you do want to hide this text layer here, since I just put that in there for reference so you would know what you needed to cut for which color here. All right, now let's switch back over to our table here and get started on assembling this. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. All right, so what I typically do is start assembling my window first. So I'm going to start out with this little patterned layer. I'm sorry for the meowing. Our neighbor's cat decided to come in our house and have a litter of 5 kittens. And right now I have them contained in my craft room. So I apologize. Okay, back to this. So we're going to take our layer. This will actually be what we're going to adhere to our card base. And this is our piece of craft foam. I'm actually going to pause this and see if I can't get the kitten to quiet down. All right, I believe that he is going to be quiet for a minute anyway. That's the little one that we have nicknamed Big Mouth. He's the runt and he is loud. Okay, so back to our card. I am going to start with just one edge, because if you've ever worked with craft foam or any sort of foam, you know that it does kind of stretch out and lose its shape. So that's why I always just start with one edge. And I've found it's easier to start our window without it being on our card base to begin with. It's just easier to manipulate things around. All right, so try to get that all the way down to our edge. And hope we have it. We don't want it sticking out too much on the bottom because that will show through our the front piece that we're going to be putting on here. So just hold that for a second until it sets up. And Big Mouth is at it again. So, and when I'm working with foam, I'll typically do one edge at a time, just so I know that I'm getting it in place. All right, and then I've got some glue that's squeezed out here. All right, let that side set up. All right. And this is the most time-consuming part, is getting your little foam window put on here, because it does kind of warp when you're pulling it off your mat. if I'm not careful, I'm going to have mine glued to my table here. All right. Oh, good day, kitty. All right, and then our last side. And then get that glued down really well. Okay, I think that's about as good as we're gonna get. All right, so there's that piece. And now, next what we are going to do is put our acetate on the back of our little front panel here. So we're just going to glue around our edge here. And if you're watching this video, would you do me a favor? I'm working with a new setup, and if it seems like the video is too dark or not zoomed in enough, would you comment down below and let me know, because this is the first video I'll be doing with this setup. All right, and typically I would use a spray adhesive for this because there are so many little lines, so I'm just going to kind of hit or miss with this glue here so everything else doesn't dry. And because you do want to make sure all of this is going to stick to your acetate. So all right, I've probably got some dry, but it should be tacky enough to stick anyway. All right, and this is cut to size, so it should lay on here perfect. Let's see. Yes, we are good. And then just give it a press on the front side. All right, now that is good to go. There's our little window, and you can see I've got some little excess glue, but that's the good thing about this. It dries clear. So if that bothers you, I usually will take this little pokey tool here from Cricut and just clean up any of that excess glue that leaked out there. Actually impressed, there was not a whole lot. I'm usually pretty messy with glue. All right. Like I said, I'm not going to worry too awful much about it because we're going to actually have, when it's over that pattern, you're not really going to see anything. So we have that done. And now what we will do is adhere this to our card front. And it is going to go, you'll want to make sure that you have room for your little spider to hang down here. So just kind of place that on there and then figure out where you want it. I'm going to put mine right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off and get some glue on the back of this panel here. All right. And I'm going to pull this toward me a little bit so I can hopefully try to get this on here straight. All right, go about right there. Looks pretty good to me. And then just push down so everything is adhered. Alright, not too bad. Usually I do not get anything straight. Okay, so now what we're going to do, and everyone always asks, what is it that I have on the top of my glue bottle? This is just a ball of poster putty. So, get that out of the way. Now what we're going to do is fill up our little shaker area here. And I'm going to use some little orange stars. I looked all over Michael's for some little Halloween sequins, and they had nothing. So we're going to improvise here. And just put however much you want in there. This is all personal preference. I personally go on the lighter side so they shake around a bit more. But if you like it full, then go for it. And I'm going to put some of these just little black sequins in there. And a lot of these are stuck together sometimes, so I have to be careful I don't have a big old clump. Oh, yep, we got one right there. And my fingernails hinder me some, so I've got this little thing. Alright, and then just rubbing them between your fingers will usually break them up pretty good. Alright, I believe I am happy with that. Oh, these little things. Alright, so I'm happy with that amount. So I'm going to close this up so they don't end up all over my craft room. Alright, now all we do is put our front panel on here, and our window will pretty much be finished. So the only thing about when you're using acetate and a liquid adhesive, it does take a little while for it to dry. So I wouldn't mess with it too much until it does have time to completely set up and be dry. Alright, and then we're just going to place it right on top here. And hopefully it's covering all of our edges there. Yes, it is. Now, if I had been thinking, I would have actually taken some black ink and inked around the edges of that bottom layer, that print then cut layer, so that you didn't see the white edges. Alright, see how it's still moving around here some. I'm just going to hold a little bit of pressure on this until that glue tacks up just a little bit. Alright, I'm actually going to just pause the video and then come back once this has had a chance to set up. Alright, I am back and this is set up pretty well. So, off screen, I went ahead and took off the backing to that little foam square and stuck the spider down. So, we have our little shaker card here. And the only thing left is to just put our little embellishments on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Actually hold this and glue this little guy down. And I kind of bent his little legs up a little bit to add a little more dimension. And I'm going to stick him right there. And then on the inside, just place these bats randomly. I'm just going to stick one down here. And this little guy here. And stick this little guy right there. And our card is done. This is, like I say, an invitation to maybe a Halloween party, but it would be really easy to change this up for anything. I mean, the only thing you would need to do would be to edit your main window here to have a different image. And then your little embellishments, just change whatever you'd want to whatever you want. And, you know, your inside panel, just start with a blank piece of cardstock and have whatever you want on it. So I hope you have enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, be sure to post them in the comments below. I will be sharing the Design Space link to this file in the description, as well as all of the supplies I've used. So if you want to purchase those, I would appreciate it if you use my links, because I do earn a small commission and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So just like and subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as Pinterest, and you can just search up Tidbits and Tinkerings and find me on all of those social media sites as well. So thanks for watching and have a great day.